Hi, kids. I'm Chris Harvey.
I'm Elena Joyner.
And I'm Chelsea Jackson.
Welcome to Is Designer Dead, where we're going to get into all things fashion and style, covering runway reports and financial reporting from the biggest names in fashion, giving the fun and the foolishness and all the mess.
Okay, why don't we start with fit check? Let's start with you, Chris.
Okay, let's do it. So I'm wearing a Jack Moo denim overshirt with a white tank top. Y'all know how I do for the summer. Black pants, and then my Margiela taffy boots.
Love it. Chelsea?
Okay.
So my whole outfit is Zara today.
Okay, come on.
So shirt, posted out. These like faux snakeskin leather pants and the belt as a necklace. I always do.
And I love your nails, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Nails by Press On.
And I am wearing today, if I can get up. I am wearing today an Andrea Yama.
Fabulous.
Love
Thank
it.
you. Some Zara. And these are from
A Nordstrom
Look
brand.
at
And
it.
Nordstrom.
Oh,
Shoot.
good point, so, honey.
So how was everyone's week? How about you go first, Chris?
My week was great. Can't complain. Having fun. Summer's out. Like, this is my time, honey. I'm a Cancer baby, so summer's my season.
Can't wait for your birthday.
I can't wait for your birthday either. Chris's birthday is 7/11.
Yes,
So
send
a
me
very
gifts if you
lucky
want.
day.
Cash.
Venmo, Zelle.
I accept it all.
Carrier pigeon. My week wasn't as good. I found out that I fractured my hip. So that's going to cut into my summer plans. Also, the workouts have to stop. So I'm sad about it, but I'm happy that I at least it's looking like I don't have to have surgery. So
Well,
that's good.
I'm glad you went to the doctor.
Yes,
though.
yes.
Yes.
We have been
Please go
telling
to the
you.
doctor, everybody. Your health is very important.
Yes, the doctor's
my-
important.
My week was actually really good. Getting ready. I had the house to myself.
Oh,
So doing my own
So
thing.
what'd you do?
In the bed early.
she was like, I'll relax.
Watching TV.
Girl dinner?
Dinner. Ordered out. The things, but getting ready to go to Paris and the south of France at the end of the month. So excited for that.
Little jet
Yes.
setter.
We're really excited about.
All right, let's jump right into it with fan waves and fashion slays, where we talk about celebrity style and fashion. And this week, I really want to talk about Beyonce.
Yes.
Of course, I went to the concert. It was amazing, but I want to talk about her Cowboy Carter tour looks. And this is really kind of a departure for her in terms of the difference between Cowboy Carter and Renaissance. I feel like there's a lot more storytelling in these looks, a lot more Americana, a lot more Western. She's telling the story about, reclaiming Black people's kind of influence over country music and kind of like reasserting ourselves into the conversation. So I really love that. My favorite looks from the tour were, of course, the Loewe,
Yeah.
which was one of my favorite looks from
Yes.
Renaissance. I love the plaid
Yeah, they pair
skirt.
very well together. I feel like Shiona Turini really knows how to work with that.
Yes,
house.
Yeah,
absolutely.
she
And she
does.
really knows how to take what's on the runway and like make it right for the tour. So they usually the runway looks like have a Western theme, but she always kind of updates them and makes them right for like touring and performing.
And then also for Beyonce's silhouette.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. They
Yeah.
cinch the way. I mean, they know
Yes.
exactly what they're doing. So
Yeah.
the Loewe look and, of course, the Etro look, which we had discussed before.
Yes.
The fur, the hat. It was just like so dramatic for her. I really love that one. She actually has some favorite designers on the tour. She has worn 3 Off-White looks, 3 Loewe looks, 2 Versace looks, and 2 Burberry looks. So I feel like those are like the designers that she was leaning into more.
Yeah,
What do you guys
absolutely.
think? What are your favorite looks?
Yeah, well, I love the Loewe, which we've already talked about. Like, super iconic. Love the pairing of the metallics with the plaid. Like, really interesting combination. I love the Roberto Cavalli denim look. Like, I think it's very on theme and it's body hugging. Y'all know I love a cinched waist, body, all that. And then what was the other one? There was one that I really liked that I can't remember. The Etro one I also really loved as well.
The Cavalli.
Oh, yeah, I talked about that one, the
Oh,
Cavalli
yeah.
one. But yeah, I love them all. No notes, obviously.
So my favorite by far was the Etro. I loved the look, but more than that, I loved the orange sunglasses that were paired with it. It harkened back to the Lil Kim motorcycle look. Remember the orange leather look that she wore once with the orange wig and the glasses? Like I just love like that 90s Matrix sunglass look. Then my second favorite look was, as you mentioned, off-white, but in Chicago, it was like the leather jacket. I find that, and then the 4 walking boots, which are also like, you know, one of the signs of the label. They're always those boots, right? And they made them in the cowboy style for her with the chaps. I find that for me, I don't like a true Western look. I like kind of like a Western paired with like more edgy. I would love to see her in a Rick Owens. A Rick Owens Western look.
That is a choice.
Oh, I love that.
You know, but it's not that far of a departure. If you remember her Rick Owens from Renaissance, it was not the kind of classic Renaissance look. It was more kind of, the boots were higher. It was more edgy. I think like I would love to see that combination. Also, I just love Rick Owens. Yeah. I would also like to see her in a Dries Van Noten look.
Yeah, similar to the Etro look. It could be a lot of like print heavy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then finally, what I would really love, and she's also she's already like worn Telfar, but I would love to see her in a Harbison look.
Yes.
That would be fun.
I think more Black designers, and she's known to support them, so I would like to see what Black designers she actually wears for the tour.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I actually was surprised I didn't see any Balmain looks.
They're coming probably.
They're
probably coming because they're locked in like this. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I was like, I'm surprised, you know, Olivier ain't did his big one on her yet.
And she's coming back to the U.S. for the finale. Yeah.
So in the U.S. she still has Houston. No, Houston, Atlanta, and then like Vegas, right?
She's ending in Vegas, I believe.
Which we think hopefully
it's going to be an announcement.
A residency.
Oh, that would be iconic.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. What else? I think that for me, also, I loved the little roomy looks.
Oh, yeah.
There was this Cult Gaia look, and it looked like it was almost like a Bottega like weave, but larger. It was so cute, and I love her little sparkly Burberry outfit. I love seeing the family together.
Yeah, and matching outfits too, similar to like Destiny's Child and how they all used to match. It's so cute. Yeah.
Yes. So all in all, I'm excited. I mean, I'm always excited to see Beyonce.
Yeah.
So, okay. So next, we're going to talk about the Britney Spears Balenciaga collab that they've recently announced. I'm super excited about this collab, but I'm also somebody that owns the DMX Balenciaga shirt when he died, that Kanye West.
Oh, I didn't even know. Oh, I don't remember that.
That Kanye West designed. I love like a designer t-shirt. So I actually love all of the Britney Spears Balenciaga shirts, and I will be purchasing one.
It doesn't even say Balenciaga on them though. Like
no,
I didn't
it doesn't.
You don't get any credit for it being $1,000. It just looks like a concert T-shirt that you had from 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I'll pass. Brittany, we wanted a comeback. We did not want to collab.
No.
Girl, no.
And it's like the looks that they actually chose is just T-shirts and a trucker hat.
It's
and they're like dingy for like $800 to $1,000.
We could have got that from Champion. No, thank you, Balenciaga.
Honestly.
That's more of his attacking us on
this
his
is
way
the
out.
remnants of
this
Demna leaving.
One last issue with Demna before he had to go. He had to troll us one last time.
Okay, so I know that I really don't like Demna, and these are a hard sell, but I love my DMX shirt, and I really want another one.
Just wear that then. The Britney Spears, we didn't need
You can get that Britney Spears shirt on Amazon for $19. It'll be the same picture of her.
Honestly, I could wear a dupe of it, and it would not look any different.
It wouldn't. But I will say the cotton is very high quality.
Have you felt it?
Not on this, but on DMX.
She thinks that everything.
Well, you know, back in the day, things were made a lot better, child. So
Yes.
you might have had a rich cotton shirt. The shirt today
That
might be
was
made of
2 years.
polyester.
How long ago did DMX die? It was 2 years.
Was it was a while.
It was the summer between our business school.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was 2021 summer.
But why, honestly, the timing of this is really odd. Why didn't they? There's a movie about her life coming out. I believe it's like next year or the year after. If this had been part of that, like press press for the movie, it would have made sense, but this just feels random. She's also like acting up a little bit on social media. You can tell that she's not there.
She been acting up.
I'm rooting for her, but honestly, this was not the time to just reintroduce a random Britney collab.
But
and you know she didn't have
time?
nothing to do with it. She didn't have nothing to do with it.
When is the time?
When she putting out the movie. As a part of a rollout for a movie, I could see it. But just randomly now? For $1,000 for barely nothing T-shirts? Like, what was the reason?
What was the reason?
But you know it's gonna get scooped up.
Oh yeah, the hypebees are gonna scoop them up. But then I don't need it.
Well, anyway, on the vein of designers, everybody get ready. So get your clip-ins and get your wig and toe, honey, because it is time for designer do-si-do. And the girls have been busy. There's a lot of movement. So first, we're gonna start with who is going to be one of the hardest working men in fashion. Jonathan W. Anderson, J.W. Anderson. My God, he left Loewe and now is at Christian Dior. He is actually taking over full creative control of the house. I'm talking men's, women's, and accessories. This is the first time it has all been under one person. So I'm a bit concerned for my boy because in addition to his 10 collections at Dior, he has 6 collections at J.W. Anderson, and then 2 of those are for the Uniqlo collaboration. So 18 collections in total every year. So that man will not be outside. He will be very busy designing and in the house. But as we talked about, he left Loewe, so who replaced him is Jack McCullough and Lazaro Hernandez, who we talked about. They left Forensic Schooler. They're now at Loewe. Then, hold on, we got a lot of stuff to get to. Matthew Blasey left Bottega Veneta. He's now at Chanel, replacing Virginia Viard, who we talked about in the first episode.
Which we're very, very excited about.
Put a pin in Virginia, because I'm going to come back to her. Now, Louise Trotter, she left Carvan and is now at Bottega Veneta, replacing Matthew Blasey. Michael Ryder left Ralph Lauren, replacing Hedi Slimane at Celine, which was a huge era. As we know, Hedi Slimane at Celine was like a big deal. So it's very interesting. Also, to see someone come from an American house to Celine is really exciting and impressive. So hopefully we get a lot more American designer representation across the sea. So that's cool. Then Glenn Martin, who we talked about, is still designing at Diesel, but now he was recently installed at Maison Martin Margiela, replacing John Galliano, who now is...
He's not anywhere.
We don't know where he is. And then, of course, Demna at Balenciaga is now at Gucci, replacing Salvador De Sarno. And then Pier Paolo Paciuli, who we are super excited about, I'm really excited about.
Super excited.
Is now at Balenciaga, leaving Valentino, where we know Alexandra McKelly is now the designer. So...
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Go through it. I got more to cover because I told y'all to put a pin in the girls. So here is the thing, right? So at this point, there are only 3 women at major fashion houses that they or their families have not founded. So Louise Trotter, who I just mentioned at Bottega, Sarah Burton, of course, at Givenchy, and Kamina Kamali, who's at Chloe, which was a women design and owned fashion house in the first place. So that's great. But the issue is 3 female designers, in a market that is typically driven by female consumerism, and a market educationally where we have more fashion graduates being women than men, it's very interesting to see we don't have this female representation. And I think what's more concerning, though, is when a lot of women leave these big fashion houses, we don't know where they are, right? So Frida Giannini at Gucci.
That is very true.
She took over after Tom Ford. We ain't seen sis since. Now, maybe she's at home, spending time with her family. I don't know. I'm just saying. Where is she? Virginia Viard at Chanel. Where is she now?
Sure.
Haven't seen her. And then Phoebe Philo. It took forever for her after she left Celine to start her own label. Yeah. And again, she's at her own label. So she's in charge of a house that she herself helped found. And then all of the other female founders are at houses that they helped establish, right? Donatella, who was at Versace, was replaced by a man at Versace. Musha Prada, obviously, she started Prada, but she's designing with Raf Simons, and he possibly may succeed her at some point. Stella McCartney, Sylvia Venturini, Fendi, Vera Wang, Victoria Beckham, like Carolina Herrera, all the big names in fashion who are women and who are designers are typically
at their
own houses. Right. And even some of the female founded houses, i.e. Celine and Chanel, are now designed by men. So I don't know what that says about what the industry. Well, we know what that says. What the industry thinks about women.
Well, that
designers.
says that the fashion
But-
industry is like every other industry.
Yeah.
Right? Like the beauty industry, L'Oreal,
Yeah.
like
Everyone
these
at the top is men.
companies,
Everyone at the top is
everyone
men.
at the top.
So-
Like women buy how much for the household, right? Like women are the primary people, like caregivers at home. They're buying food, they're buying everything for the household. These CPG companies are all probably structured in a very similar vein, right?
But it's the same at department stores. We worked at department
Yeah,
stores,
yeah.
and all of the buying organization and up until a certain level will
Yeah.
be women,
Mhm.
and then once you pass that
Yeah,
level,
once
it's
you get
all
to the
men.
higher, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
men.
Everything women consume, and women are the primary purchasers of things for a household, right? All of these companies are structured in a similar way, and like the fashion industry, I think obviously it is a tragedy that we aren't able to design and own and be the ideators of the products that we consume and we live in, but it's not unlike anything else,
Yeah.
right?
Do you think there should be an onus on female founded brands to like kind of pay it forward, and at least when they like sell their companies or step down from their companies, kind of stipulate like I still want this company to be female led. I still want there to be maybe every other designer be female. It's not necessarily always done or ever done, but I feel like I have seen, when I did my research, I have seen other kind of mission driven companies. So for example, Tom's and
Sure.
Patagonia, when the founders stepped down, they had a mission clause in their contract that says, if you don't continue this mission, you are obligated as the person acquiring my company to continue this mission. And if you don't, then I can step back in. Or I have some authority to kind of to step back in and establish that mission again.
I mean,
So
Coco
it's
Chanel was a
not-
Nazi, so I don't really
I
care.
totally understand.
I
That
don't
was the
think that-
1920s.
I ain't wanna bring that up.
That was the
It is a fact.
1920s. But in the,
Her
but
mission
in-
was gonna be a
but-
different
But in the
mission.
2020s,
Yeah.
there are ways that I think that maybe
Sure.
more women founders can kind of not necessarily pay it forward, but kind of provide leverage for the next generation of female leaders coming after them to really step into that space.
To answer your question, I think it's complicated, right? I think for me, like having a business background, I usually look at the world through an economic lens, right? In order to buy companies and keep them and grow them, scale them, what have you, you need money, you need capital, you need hard capital, you need social capital. And women are behind men in those lanes, right? If women were to have the same economic, social capital and just mindset of men in society, I think that we wouldn't even be having this conversation. To like be really technical about your question, I think that that's sustainable in the short term to like put into some kind of agreement or trust, or if it's a large company, that stipulation. But if it's a large holding company, that stipulation can only probably be there for like one or two acquisitions or mergers. I can't imagine something like that being in perpetuity. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure people will.
It has not been done. I'm just trying to think out of the box and be solution oriented.
Yeah.
Because how else are we going to get it done? Like, how we're not going to put our trust in the men at the top, the Bernard Arnaults of the world, to say, I really think this should be a mission-driven company and continue to be female-led. And he's not going to have that.
I mean, nor would he have the capability to.
Yeah.
Like,
he would
his investors
absolutely have the capability.
Well,
his investors wouldn't let him.
Yeah, I think
don't
going
know.
back to what you said, like from a business aspect, I think the onus really needs to be on like the consumers. They need to start piping up and saying like, hey, we want more female designed houses. We want more female led houses.
I feel like
because
we've said that.
that's
We've said that.
I mean, I don't know though. Are
Saying
people really
it-
saying it? But like,
I
put
feel
your
like
money
even
where
the
your mouth
men are
is.
saying
and,
it.
like,
Even the men who are interested in fashion, who are benefiting technically from it being only white men, they
Yeah.
are saying, "Oh, another white man like designing."
So one of my favorite phrases is people vote with their feet,
yeah.
right? So I could talk about how I hate Demna Balenciaga, but I own Balenciaga. So obviously I don't hate Balenciaga that much, right? So I think a good example of people voting with their feet is the recent Target DEI thing, right? Their quarterly earnings came in and they are down substantially, right? To the point where Rumley is either going to be walking back these things. People in this instance voted with their feet. People in the Starbucks boycott instance, like if people want this, if people know how to make change, they just don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. So if nobody, so let's say for the example of Chanel, let me say something good about it. If, because I called her a Nazi. But let's say in the instance that people did not want Matthew Blasey to be there, and there was an uproar, and people boycotted the brand, or the sales were substantially down. They're like, this is a female founded house. We want a female designer. They would change him, and they would change him immediately.
I feel like they were already boycotting Chanel because they didn't like Virginie Viard.
That's a whole different conversation, child. We're talking about based on sex.
Yeah.
We're not talking about based on
The designs.
lack of inspiration.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that people vote with their feet, and people don't like. The simple fact of the matter is people don't care enough to vote with their feet on these matters. Yeah. And when they will, they do. At least like if we're looking at it in the context of like France, people vote with their feet in France. Yeah. They were going to change benefits in France, and they burned cars.
Yeah.
So if France really cared about that, they recently put into law, I think by 2030, there's like this sustainability goals to, do away with fast fashion. Yeah. If like the French couture boards and all that really cared, they would. If American consumers really cared, they would. It's not a top priority for them, rather.
Yeah.
All right, switching gears a little bit, we're going to talk about designers, deficits, and dividends. Awesome. And the topic for today is really the double standard when it comes to M&A for Black-owned brands and Black founders and white founders. And this really came about because, of course, 2 weeks ago, e.l.f. announced that they were acquiring Rhode, which is Hailey Bieber's brand. And they acquired it for $1 billion, which was a great, achievement for her.
Great exit.
Great exit for her. I believe that brand is only less than 5 years old.
It is.
So that's for people and celebrities who have been building their brands and have been trying to make it in a very crowded market, it was definitely a win for her. But then Monique Rodriguez, who is the founder of Mayel Cosmetics, which is of course a natural hair care brand that we love, when she sold her company to P&G, and when Bevel sold their company to P&G, which were both Black-owned brands, there was definitely an uproar from the Black community, calling them sellouts and calling them out for selling something that was Black-owned. And I really wanted to pose the question, like, why do you think the double standard exists? And do you think that it's unfair to Black founders because they want to be, one, seen as part of the larger fashion and beauty conversation? I talked to a lot of Black founders when I was interviewing them for Join Black, which is my company that highlights Black-owned fashion and beauty brands. Sure. And when I was interviewing them, they basically said, I don't want to pigeonhole myself as just a Black founder. I want to expand my audience to everyone who is interested in buying my clothes. I don't want to pigeonhole myself. I want to be included in the larger fashion conversation. I want to be taken seriously. And I may not necessarily, some of them said, I may not necessarily want to do this forever. Yeah, sure. I have other goals and other aspirations. This is what I'm interested in now, but it's not necessarily the only thing I'll ever want to do. But contrast that with how I feel as a Black consumer when, one, I feel like when I'm buying a Black-owned brand, I'm supporting myself as well. I'm supporting the legacy of Black ownership, which we have been fighting for as a people for so long. First, the ownership of our own personhood, right? Coming from slavery, but then the ownership of businesses and land and inventions and all of those things. And, really fighting for, respect from these companies in terms of providing offerings that speak to us, that cater to us. And usually a lot of these brands were founded out of a void, a void of things in the market that spoke to us. And now you're selling back to a company that ignored us, for so long. So for me, it's kind of a very nuanced conversation.
Sure.
Obviously on the side of Black consumers, also on the side of founders, but
Sure.
it's a very nuanced conversation. So what do you guys think about the double standard?
So I thought about this and I really wanted to bring it down to two concepts, right? So I think it's the dichotomy between community versus capital. Right. I think a lot of these Black owned brands are very community based, and Black people in general are very community oriented people. So when we are buying a Black owned brand, we're not only just buying a product, we're buying into a community. Right. And so sometimes as a consumer, when we are buying into that community, we feel a sense of loss when that product is sold, because it's almost like you're letting go of this community, right? Whereas my tech side, because I've worked in tech for so long, the goal is to exit in tech, right? So for me, I can see both sides of the issue. So the goal in tech, for those who are not familiar with kind of the tech flywheel, is you scale as quickly as possible. So you acquire customers as quickly as possible for as cheaply as possible. You get to a maximum capacity where you are then able to profit. So think about how Uber was super, super cheap when it first came out, and everybody started using Uber. Uber got to a point where people were hooked. And then they rose prices. And of course, there's going to be a drop off, right? And then the business flywheel is twofold. You get a lot of customers, then you make it profitable, then you exit, right? And so in my mind, she played it perfectly, right? She was able to acquire a lot of customers.
You mean Monique Rodriguez?
Yes, with Miel. She was able to acquire a lot of customers. She was able to scale, and then she also made it profitable, right? She had a lot of distribution. She was in Sally's and Target, everywhere. And then she sold when she was at this capacity. And I think that I understand both sides, but I think that for the Black community, there should be maybe a merging of these two. Right? We have to look at exits as part of buying into the Black community. And I think a perfect example of this is Richelieu Dennis with Sundial. After he exited Shea Moisture, he is now essentially a venture capital.
Oh, he owns Essence.
Yeah.
And Afropunk.
Yeah. So he bought back Essence. He owns Afropunk. He gives out money and invests in businesses, right? And I think that we have to stop thinking about Black ownership as solely products and start to diversify into capital, right? So it's not only about owning a business, it's also about owning stocks, being able to create your own fund.
Yeah.
Create your own bank.
And avenues for other people.
Avenues for other people. Yeah. But I also think that these are conversations that Black people weren't able to have. We were only able to barter and sell in products. Thinking about how we can diversify our debt and leverage and scale and flywheels. These are kind of new concepts for our people.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I was about to say, I pretty much agree with that. I think for me, I don't think the onus should be on Black brands and founders, as I've told you, to make sure that they keep it fully Black owned, because at the end of the day, to Chelsea's point, it is a business. I want to grow and scale. I may not want to do this for the rest of my life. Either way, I think even knowing that it was founded as a Black brand, even if it got sold to L'Oreal or whomever, I would still buy it and support it, because I'm this is the legacy of this Black business owner and this Black person.
And it encourages more exits.
Yeah, and it encourages more exits. And you're also just showcasing to people the Black dollar is powerful, and Black products are also powerful, and they can be very successful from a business standpoint. So I think the onus more so should be on to your point about like funds, like we need to have like a black version of like El Catterton and like more like black,
more Harlem Capitals.
like more black funds that are supporting these black businesses. Because if we really want to make sure it's black owned, we have to make sure we have the resources and the capacity to support these brands. And the real way to do that is for us to continue to be buying these black brands with black capital. Like that would be the ideal solution. But I think I would never fault a founder for like selling his or her
Get that
company.
money, girl.
Because you want to scale, you want to grow, you want to develop. And also, again, you can then use that money to pay it forward, but also you might not want to do this long term. Like you might have like started a fashion brand and now you're like, actually like, I now want to start a real estate business or like, I want to run for office or something. Like I don't want us to like pigeonhole people into like having one only phase of their life just because
for sure
we want to be able to say it's black owned.
But if let's say, for example, Telfar sold Telfar and was no longer a part of Telfar and it was not black owned, would you still support it?
But that is common with every brand.
Yeah.
So it's
But
not
when
just
you say
like a black
community
thing.
based
Yeah.
and how, Telfar started with, the shopper and how, he started and how Brandon Blackwood, let's say, started with end systemic racism. It started with the community. And I think there are different avenues for people when they want to sell. But I think the more you root the brand in our blackness and the more you root the brand in our community, like for example, Brandon Blackwood started with end systemic racism with that bag, but then he expanded, and it's not necessarily only about that kind of aesthetic and that kind of tone for the brand. He expanded to like to different categories and a different aesthetic. For Telfar, I still think that black community grassroots nature, even with his marketing and everything that he does and everything that he's very choosy about, even how vocal he is in interviews about, why he started the business and how it is for black founders. Like if he sold the business to somebody else, I don't think it would still ring true for me. And I don't know if I would have it would be as relevant for me.
But every brand, I also think I am very sale. I'm like pro sale for black brands because like you get money and you're able to do other things, right? Yeah. Like sell at the height and go do something else, right? Being an entrepreneurship, people glorify.
It's a lot.
Being an entrepreneur, people glorify it so much. But let's say Telfar sells to LVMH and goes and does something else.
If Telfar sold to LVMH, I would be very disappointed.
But I think it's all about.
I'm just gonna say it.
We've talked about this though. As new creative directors come to brands, it's all about like, can you keep the aesthetic and the mission and the feel
and the codes of the brand?
Because you can do that with it being acquired. Like we've seen so many brands recycle through creative directors. Like I just talked about it for 40 minutes and almost fell out telling y'all about the changes.
Yeah.
So clearly it happens a lot. But I think a brand can be acquired or sold or absorbed, and like the brands still have the same kind of like look and feel and aesthetic as long as they make sure they are carrying forward the codes and the mission of the house, which I think if you acquired a brand, like clearly you think this brand is doing well. You see potential in this brand. Like if anything, you just want to scale it and maybe make it a little bit more commercial, but ideally you're not coming to completely change the aesthetic and completely undo everything this brand has done up until that point, because at that point, why would you buy it? You liked it for some reason.
PE has entered the chat.
Okay, so with that, it looks like we're not going to agree on this.
Let's not open that can of worms.
It's time for Is Designer Dead Icon Edition with our favorite Queen Bee. Well, our other favorite Queen Bee, Lil Kim. So Lil Kim came to prominence in the early 90s. Her first appearance, or one of her first appearances in music videos, was in Party and Bullshit with Notorious B.I.G. At that time, she was still finding her style, but I think that we can all say she came to kind of full prominence and was known very much for the Crush on You video with her iconic different colors, different wigs, different furs, and then she further grew in prominence over the next few years with her collaboration with her famous iconic stylist Misa Hilton, who was able to create what we now think of as the Lil Kim style. And when I think of Lil Kim style, I think of kind of two different things. As I've already mentioned, the Crush on You video, which started what we think of, or is what I want to think of as the blueprint for Lil Kim: a fur, a wig, and a bikini, and a hot body under, honey.
Yes.
With a boot. Or a sandal in that color. And then also a few years later, at the 1999 MTV Awards, the kind of purple under the sea jumpsuit with the beautiful seashell on her breastises. But then also Diana Ross, going like this on it. But over the next few years, she kind of carried that iconic style and was able to refine it, wore more designers in the late and early 2000s. So I wanted to get into, what you all think Lil Kim's impact is on fashion, globally, hip hop fashion, and really female rapper fashion. Before we get into it, I'm going to kind of say my two favorite Lil Kim looks over the last few years. The last several years. So everybody really likes like the 1999 MTV Awards, but I like the 1999 Source Awards. So it's this like sheer beige outfit, and there's when I say this much fur on her cootie cat, and this much fur on her nipples, and there's she had the nerve to have like a rhinestone G-string thing over it, and then she has this blonde China Bang wig. I just knew I was gonna wear that when I grew up.
Have you worn it? Why you gotta think about that?
I have not.
Remember it.
That's a memorable outfit.
I have not, but I would like to see it.
Okay.
And then one of my favorite other videos of hers beyond the crush on you was Wait a Minute with Ray J. Y'all remember that? It was like...
Was that when they were like building her body or something?
No, it was
that?
Wait a Minute. Working all day.
I remember the song, but I'm trying to remember the
video.
video.
One of the outfits was like this Fendi outfit. And
that was that wig Fendi too? Was that one?
It was, I believe.
She has a tendency to do wig, campy wigs.
Let me look it up, because child, I don't want them to roast me again.
While you look at that, I'm gonna tell you my favorite.
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead,
so she was the first rapper to be invited to the Met Gala in 1999, and she wore this pink ensemble. It was like a pink fur, of course, with a pink wig and like pink. I believe it was shorts and a like a bikini. And I don't know if I would say that was necessarily appropriate for Met Galas of today. But back in the day, I feel like she was such a trendsetter, so ahead of her time. Of course, she's a blueprint for a lot of the girls out today. But I honestly just feel like she was having fun with her fashion.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there was this a need for her or some pressure from the industry to be over sexualized. I think maybe that became her aesthetic and her the way that she was known for after a while. But when she and
you didn't
Misa
think that with the cover of the hardcore album?
Well, I think that I feel like she was doing because she wanted to. I feel like she was doing it because she was taking charge of her sexuality, because she wanted to have a pocket that she could own in terms of her dress. I feel like she was doing it because she loved glamour and she wanted to wear the furs and she wanted to look sexy and she wanted to exaggerate her petite frame. So I feel like there was a different reason behind her more explicit dress, and it was more based in fun, ownership of her of her aesthetic, and more based in experimentation as opposed to pressure.
So to your point, one thing I really love about her and why I think she's iconic is she always looked like she was having fun. And the girls nowadays don't look like they're having fun. They don't look like they're having fun. And then a couple other points I wanted to point out is she was actually signed to Wilhelmina in 1998.
Oh,
yes. She was signed to Wilhelmina in 1998. However, to this day, she has never had a Vogue cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have expected.
I
I
would've
don't know if I would have
expected that.
expected a Vogue cover back in the day, but I feel like did Erica Badu had a Vogue cover more recently, right?
More
I feel
recently.
like as we start to introduce more like Black fashion icons that should have been recognized
Yeah.
and now are being recognized,
Yeah.
maybe she'll come back into the conversation. I don't know if she'll get Vogue, but I think that she should be recognized more.
Yeah, I mean, her impact in the industry cannot be overstated in any way, shape, or form. Like, she really had the girls like copying her, really trying to be her, and I think that really what makes a style icon. Like, when you see someone and you want to imitate their style and you want to like emulate their aesthetic, like I think that's what makes you a style icon, because there is a difference between a style icon and a fashion icon. Now, if you're a style icon, I think you are a fashion icon, but just because you're a fashion icon does not mean you're a style icon. Okay, so for example, Rihanna is a style
Yes,
icon.
ma'am.
Beyonce is a fashion icon. But hold on, wait a second. Wait a second. But I think that Beyonce.
Don't post about me, please.
Hold on. I think Beyonce is actually cementing her status as a style icon because of her impact with Renaissance and Cowboy Carter. I think prior to these tour outings and all the fashionable tours she's done, like, I don't think she was a style icon just yet. But now I think she's very much on her way to being a style and a fashion icon, and I love that for my good sis.
Yeah.
Other examples, Madonna is a fashion icon but not a style icon. But Cher is both. She's that girl.
Oh,
That's what I got.
I think that what makes a fashion icon is people have to follow your trend. Like, you can't be just like sitting there, following everyone's trend. You have to set them, and it has to be like.
You mean a
separate-
style
I'm not saying
icon?
style
Sorry,
icon.
a style
Yeah, I'm not
icon.
saying-
Yes, a style
'cause
icon.
fashion icon, you just wore some cute stuff.
You have to set trends. You
Sure.
can't just follow them. And also, it can't just be only your stylist leading the charge. Like, your stylist has to already see kind of what you're about, and kind of like lean into that and kind of create looks around
Sure.
like
I see what you're saying.
the aesthetic that you already bring to the table.
Yes.
And I would also say that there should be eras of your style and how it
Yes.
evolves. So like
Yes.
Rihanna is a great example.
Yes.
Like, the good girl going bad Rihanna is different from the rated R Rihanna,
Yes.
is different
Sure.
from the
Loud
red hair
Rihanna. Mhm.
Rihanna,
Loud
is
Rihanna.
different from the maternity
Yes.
Rihanna. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yes.
And she has different eras that we can literally cling to and say she influenced maternity wear, and after which it would never be the same.
Right.
She influenced like the eclectic style of dress where you mix things that you didn't think would go together, or she influenced the way you pair streetwear with high fashion,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you wear like leggings and heels. Like, she kind of invented that era, and I feel like Mel Ottenberg, when he was designing for her, when he was styling her,
yep.
he kind of just leaned into that.
Yes.
He created a lot of her style, but you can tell that he was vibing off of her personality.
Yes. Because also
And
it's
not
about,
everyone can do that.
Right.
So somebody who I think of as a fashion icon and not a style icon is Zendaya.
Yes,
Mm.
I would
So
agree.
I think Zendaya is quite fashionable,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
However, when I look at her street style,
Yeah.
there's no fashions. And so
Well, there's really no street style.
there is
Yeah.
no street style. But when I look at Rihanna, like when she's just coming out the house with her in the babies, she's got that shit on. And it's not like a red carpet. Like, I cannot point to a time where I have seen Zendaya walking down the street or when she's caught by Paps and I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
there's a through line between your red carpet style that I know is highly curated, and it's quite fashionable, to your street style. And for a style icon, there's a through, like a third line. She's controversial now, but I think a style icon where you can like point to like the notes of, like, similar to like the notes of the house, Gwen Stefani.
Is she controversial?
Okay. Fair.
Her people,
Wait.
her of what is it called, cultural appropriation, people
Oh, yeah.
feel away
Okay.
about it.
Wait, so I have 2 points just to address what you said. So first, what was I gonna say? Oh my God, what was I saying? Oh, so in regards to Rihanna, I think it's also about like how you carry, like a style icon. Like you are wearing the dress is not wearing you. Like Rihanna might be in the most questionable outfit
know about
ever,
that.
but Rihanna's not gonna look like it's a question to her. Rihanna's looking like, okay,
She's gonna carry.
and what's up? You know, whereas we'll be like, Rihanna, what's happening? What
I
is
think
this?
of Diane Keaton as a style icon.
Yes.
And but like carry it like, I'm that girl, but Diane Keaton's like,
No, but it
she's
goes
still
with her
style-
personality though.
Yeah.
She's not like questioning if this is the right outfit for her. She's just like, girl, this is just me. I'm just a
And
quirky
everything
girl.
Diane Keaton wears, I love.
Yeah. And then
look at Elena. She's like,
and then finally to the
Y'all
point of
can love it.
Zendaya, I will say she is a fashion icon in the making. She's not there yet. Because icon status takes a while.
Yeah, it
Like to be a real icon. Like she's a fashion it girl, but I don't know if I would call her a fashion icon yet.
Yeah.
But she's on her way. Just like Coleman Domingo, I think a style icon in the making, but he's not there yet just because he just hasn't been around long enough. And I think it
True.
takes a while to establish icon status. Like
Yeah.
similar to like ballroom, legendary status. Like you don't just get there by you just doing
Show
one
up,
thing.
yeah.
Like, you know? So that's what I got. But
okay.
anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to watch us wherever you consume your podcasts. And until then, take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.